I've been at the University of Central Florida for 4 years, coaching the linebackers, coordinating the defense. I was at the University of North Carolina for 3 years, coaching the linebackers, was special team coordinator 2 years, and was the defensive coordinator my last year there. Was at Oklahoma State, Georgia Tech with George O'Leary, who's our head coach at the University of Central Florida. I was defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech for Coach O'Leary. I've been at East Carolina a couple times, Western Kentucky a couple times, for about 28 years I've been coaching. I want to start off this morning here with share a story with you. One of my favorite stories titled, "Belief is All You Need." A man was lost while driving through the country. As he tried to read a map, he accidentally drove off the road into a ditch. Though he wasn't injured, his car was stuck in the mud, so the man walked to a nearby farm to ask for help. "Warwick can get you out of that ditch," said the farmer, pointing to an old mule standing in a field. The man looked at the haggardly mule and looked at the farmer, who just stood there repeating, "Yep, old Warwick can do the job." The man figured he had nothing to lose. The two men and Warwick made their way back to the ditch. The farmer hitched the mule to the car. With a snap of the reins, he shouted, "Pull, Fred! Pull, Jack! Pull, Ted! Pull, Warwick!" And the mule pulled the car from the ditch with very little effort. The man was amazed. He thanked the farmer, patted the mule, and asked, "Why did you call out all those other names before you called Warwick?" The farmer grinned and said, "You see, old Warwick is just about blind. But as long as he believes he's part of a team, he doesn't mind pulling." All right? Guys, football is the greatest team sport on earth. All right? Teamwork. All right? Teamwork. Coordinate. 11 guys coordinated. All right? Together. All right? For one common goal. All right? And if you have a team of old Warwicks, you're going to have yourself a hell of a football team. And 90% of football, and I really believe this, is played with the heart and with the mind. Along with belief, all right, to have a great football team, I think next comes trust. And I talk with our defensive players about packing each other's parachutes. All right? Hey, tomorrow we're going to take a ride up in the blue sky. We're going to go about 10,000 feet. All right, we're going to make a jump. But before we do that, you guys are going to exchange parachutes. Now, you're going to give your parachute to him. You're going to give yours to him. And that night, I want you to pack that parachute. And then tomorrow morning, as we load up, all right, to go to that airport, all right, you're going to get your parachute back. All right, and when that door opens up, all right, do you trust that your teammate packed that parachute the correct way? Are you going to make that jump? All right? It's a game of trust. It's a game of teamwork. It's a game of belief, but it's a game of trust. These are just some thoughts that I have I'm going to share with you, and I just call them coaching steps for success. And the first one is, as a coach, having the ability to inspire learning. Coaching is teaching. All right? We do it in the classroom, and we do it out in the grass. All right? And your best coaches are the ones that have the ability to inspire learning. The player walked up to the coach. The coach raised up his head. The player began to speak, and this is what he said. "Coach me, coach." That's the attitude you want your players to have. A coach me, coach attitude. All right? And you got to inspire that attitude. All right? You got to inspire that attitude to happen so when your players come into that meeting room or you're out there on the grass, they have that coach me, coach attitude. All right? The ability to inspire learning. Coaching is teaching, and we want our players eager to learn. All right? They come into that meeting room, that linebacker meeting room, that defensive unit meeting room. Man, I want them eager to learn. I don't want them dragging in there. All right? I want them in there, all right, with their up in their seat, with that, "Hey, coach me, coach. Coach me." All right? I'm ready to be coached. All right? Ability to inspire learning. It all starts with a coach me, coach attitude. All right? Demand concentration. Hey, there's nothing that irks me more than to walk in a meeting room, all right, and there's guys laid back in their chair, got their hat on sideways, looking like some chump, all right, feet kicked up on on some chair, all right, hand tilted in the head, he ain't ready to learn. He's not concentrating, all right? And as a coach, all right, to be successful, I believe you got to demand, all right, concentration, all right, and it starts with discipline. Attention in meetings, sit up straight, feet on the floor, all right, give me some positive body language. Eye-to-eye contact, get your eyes up, all right? And it starts with discipline, all right? Teach them how to be students of the game, all right? And these are the little things, all right, that I think are real important. Demand concentration and have them sit the right way in your meeting room, all right? Make them sit up straight, all right? Give me your eyes, all right? And demand concentration, all right? And now become a student of the game. Meaningful meetings and practice. Preparation and organization. Don't meet to meet or drill to drill. You'll lose your players. You walk into a meeting and you're not organized, all right, or you have a meeting just to meet, or you're out there on the field, all right, and you're out there just doing a drill to do a drill because you got 5 more minutes left and you weren't organized and preparing your individual time, you lose your players. All right, your players see through that. All right, you want to keep that number one, that ability to inspire learning, all right, and eager to work. All right, when we're on that grass, I want my players eager to work, all right, with a great work ethic. All right, so meaningful meetings and meaningful practice. Don't meet to meet or drill to drill. Believe in what you're coaching. Sell it with enthusiasm in your presentation to your players. All right, go back to old work. Belief is all you need. Okay? And motivate. I think so much of coaching is teaching and motivating. All right, it's not just all the X's and the O's. All right, it's more of those Jimmys and Joes and what's going on between those ears with them. All right, and what's in their heart. Okay? So whatever you're doing, all right, have a great belief in it and sell it with enthusiasm to your players, all right, so that they're eager to learn and you're inspiring learning with them. Okay? And motivate. Number 5, don't forget the basics. Be a stickler on the basics. All right, and that's a non-compromising ideal with us in our program. We are not going to compromise, all right, the fundamentals, all right, the basics, and get all wound up, all right, in we're running this defense or this dog or this blitz. All right, we're going to make sure that we take care of the basics, and those basics are. And I'm from the old school. All right, I learned a long time ago the most important offensive fundamental is blocking. All right, and defensively, all right, the most important defensive fundamental is tackling. All right, if you're a team that blocks well and you're a team that tackles well, all right, you've got a chance to be successful. All right, and we're not going to compromise, all right, the basic fundamentals, all right, for scheme. And then number 6, all right, know the whole scheme of the defense, the offense. All right, and I'm really big with this with our defensive coaches, staff participation, not just your position. 3 things, all right, game plan participation. All right, I want guys involved. All right, I want my defensive coaches involved in the game plan with me. Okay? Secondly, game day adjustments. All right, we got to make adjustments on the sideline. Well, you can't make it if you just know your own position. All right, you ought to know the whole defensive scheme. You should know the whole game plan. All right, and now on game day, when you got to make adjustments on that sideline, all right, it can get done in a hurry. And thirdly, for individual growth. All right, spread your wings. Greater opportunity to, all right, get jobs. All right, just not being a DB coach. All right, knowing linebacker play. All right, knowing defensive line play. All right, so for individual growth, and we do this we'll do this here in 2 weeks before we start spring practice. We'll do staff clinic. All right, with the offense. And we'll take each day's installation. All right, Coach Tim Salem, our offense coordinator, will get up. He'll take first day's installation. All right, and he'll get up on the board and he'll clinic the entire staff on their first day offensive installation. All right, and I'll get up as the defense coordinator and I'll clinic the whole staff, all right, on our first day defensive installation. The next day is another offensive coach. All right? And another defensive coach. All right? The next day is another offensive coach and another defensive coach. All right? So everybody's participating. All right? And you know what it does? It holds people accountable. It holds people accountable for knowing, all right, the whole offense and the whole defense and not just their position. Let's talk about some errors in teaching methods. All right, number one there, failure to use time effectively. Have a plan for everything. Time management, huge. Time management. All right, the NCAA only allows us so many minutes a day with our players, all right, and hours per week. All right, so we have to plan and we have to use our time, all right, effectively. And I know you guys got the same thing with school and you know, maybe with jobs with kids or having to get a ride home, all right, how they're getting home. All right, we have to have a plan, all right, for everything to be able to use our time, and that's time management. All right, and then when we get into meetings, and I'm talking about meetings on the field, all right, meeting notes on the board, overhead notes, handouts, all right, whatever it is, make it learnable for the kids. Making it learnable for them. All right, number two, don't spend too much time on one thing. It creates boredom. Want players eager to learn. Make your point. All right, I've been around some guys, man, that just verbally, tongue lash, trying to get a point across. All right, and it's just going way over that kid's head. All right, the kid's bored with it, lost with it. All right. All right, so don't spend too much time on one thing. Creates boredom. Want players eager to learn. Make your point. All right, if needed, all right, come on back to it. All right, but move on. All right, don't lose the player. Too much verbal instruction, lose the player, particularly on the field. Teaching meetings, rep on the field. All right, guys, we all know football is a game of repetition. And as human beings, we are what we repeatedly do. And the more you rep something the correct way, it becomes a habit. All right, so rep on the field. Don't take your 15 minutes of individual time, all right, explaining a drill. That should have already been done. You're losing reps. All right, or a defense or a blitz, a dog. All right, that should have already been done. So now you're on the grass, all right, and you're getting reps. You're getting reps. The more times that you put that kid in that situation, all right, and he sees it with his eyes, the faster he's going to react to it. I talk to linebackers all the time. All right, fast eyes, fast hands, fast feet. The 3 R's, read, recognize, react. All right, and what allows you to do those three things fast, all right, is to play fast with eyes. As a linebacker, if you play with slow eyes, your ass is going to get blocked. Because if you play with slow eyes, your feet are going to play slow. Play with fast eyes, and you train your eyes to play fast. All right, watching film, reading your key, out there on the practice field, all right, in a read drill, rep. Train your eyes to play fast, all right, train your feet to play fast, good footwork. All right, don't play with slow eyes. So it's a game of repetition. All right, use buzzwords. All right, CPR, club punch rip. I said, hey, go in there and grab the elbow and, all right, and put your hand in there and pull it out. See if you can't get the ball. That's too much verbal. All right, CPR. Let's go, CPR. Club punch rip. All right, DDF. All right, deliver, disengage, finish. All right, come up with buzzwords. All right, that the kids know and understand. And all you got to say, hey, Chance, DDF. All right, your poor DDF. Pup. Pad under pad. All right? Pup, you're too high. Get your pup. Get your pup right. Get pad under pad. All right? Come up with buzzwords. All right? That the kids know and understand. And particularly on game day, all right? Using those buzzwords, all right, when you don't have a lot of time and you may be back out on the field in a big hurry, all right? You can get your point across with the players. So it's a game of repetition, man. Learn to play fast through reps. See that picture 1,000 times, all right, and play fast with it. Poor teaching progression. Be organized. Make presentation learnable to the player. Can he understand? What's the best method of learning for that kid? All right. Is it you writing the notes for him and taking it back and being able to study it, or is it him writing them? All right. Showing him on film. All right. Getting out there and physically doing it. What's the best method for that kid to learn? And they're all everybody's different. And you got to find the button that works for each one of those kids. All right? And then what I love to do, all right, I'm going to put the player up on the board. Put them up on the board, all right, and see what they know. Now, make them draw up under 0. Make them draw up smack 93. All right, see what they know. All right, tell them, hey, tomorrow I'm going to pick somebody. Everybody's going to be up on the board tomorrow. All right, and what I cover here today. All right, make them work outside the meeting room. All right, back over in that apartment, over that dorm. All right, be a student of the game. Study the game. Number 5 right there, failure to explain the purpose of drills. Explain why, show them how. You know what's really cool? All right, you're doing a drill. All right, and I got this drill, give a step drill. And then you come in and you work it that day, and then somewhere in that practice, okay, there's that toss play, and there's that Will linebacker, all right, flowing to the ball, and he's got to perform that give a step drill. And then you're coming back the next day or later the afternoon, and you're watching film of that player, and coach, there's the give a step drill right there. All right, it's neat for them to see, all right, the drills that you're working them with, all right, and then and how it applies, all right, to an inside drill or 11 on 11, and for them to point it out, coach. There's our hit drill. All right, there's our give a step drill. All right, coach, we rep that 1,000 times in re-drill. There it is, fitting that power roll play. All right, it's cool for the players to come back and talk about, you know, that's our drill right there. Errors in tactics and strategy. I need to be realistic about your players' abilities. All right, is it learnable for them, and is it doable? Does he have the ability to do it? All right, we're the coach. We got to make that judgment. We got to make that call. Is it learnable, and do his abilities allow him to be able to do it? All right, and number 2 right there, changing philosophy week to week. Stick to what you believe. And again, it goes back to that non-compromising ideal. I'm going to sell it. All right, what I believe in, I'm going to sell it to the players. I'm going to motivate them with it. All right, and I'm going to stick to it. Now, every week you got to tweak a few things. All right, maybe change a dog, you know, just a blitz path here or there. But the coverage aspect shouldn't change. All right, all we're doing is changing the blitz lane on this week. All right, so you might have to tweak some things. All right, but it's not a wholesale change. Stick to what you believe in and don't compromise. Now we talk about the evaluation of defensive breakdown. All right, you come in on Saturday morning, or for us on a Sunday morning. All right, we grade the film, look at it as the defensive coordinator. All right, these are the things that I'm looking at. We give up a run of over 10 yards. We give a pass, all right, of over 18 yards. All right, where's the breakdown? All right, number 1, defensive error, a poor call, all right, or a poor adjustment. That's on me. That's on the coach. All right, and I can remember when I was coordinating for Coach O'Leary at Georgia Tech. All right, one of the things when he hired me, he said the only bad call is a late call. Just get the call out there. All right, because we're all waiting for see personnel, and offense is dicking around. Running 13 guys out there, and then 2 guys run off, and you're trying to see personnel. Make a call. Make a call. Every defense that you put out there on that grass, all right, the kids should be able to adjust it if you've covered the adjustments. If not, all right, it's on the coach. If it's a poor adjustment, that's on me. All right? So when you're evaluating your defensive breakdown, why was that a 10-yard gain? What was the reason? It was a bad call. Was our adjustments poor versus that motion? All right, that's on me as the defensive coordinator, us as the defensive coaches, because we're all in it together. Number 2, individual error. All right, responsibility, poor technique, out of position. All right, well, that's on the coach and the player. All right, because you coach them. And Coach O'Leary also has another saying, you either coach it or you allow it. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it. I don't always believe that's true, because I'm not coaching that, and I sure ain't allowing it. All right, but that's one of his big sayings to us. All right, you're either coaching it or you're allowing it. All right, and you can't win with guys, all right, that are always making mental errors, all right, or missed assignments. Number 3, KRG. All right, knocked off the ball. Pup. Well, why did we get knocked off the ball? All right, pup. All right, we're playing too high with our pads. We got to get pad under pad. All right, we're not being physical enough. All right. So number 1, we're getting knocked off. We get knocked off the ball. A look at it. All right, if we're getting knocked off the ball, why are we getting knocked off the ball? All right, well, we got bad pup. All right, we're not being physical enough. Run around blocks. All right, PLR, path of least resistance. All right, we're running around blocks. We're getting 2 hats by us, all right, on the scoop block. All right, we're out of our gap. All right, to me, football is a game of straining. All right, you have to strain in the game of football. All right, body on body, pressure on pressure, running to the ball. It's a game of straining. And on every play, it's a series of strains. It's not just one strain. It's not just one effort. It's a series of efforts on every play. It's a series of strains. All right? So we look at, are we staying in our gaps? All right? Are we straining hard enough? All right? Or are we taking that path of least resistance? All right? And we all know why rivers and streams are crooked. All right? Because as they're running down, every time they come into the bump in the road, all right, they choose to take that path of least resistance. All right? Well, you can't do that on defense. All right? And thirdly, all right, on the ground. All right, we look at our block protection. Why are we on the ground? We got poor block protection. All right, we're getting cut. All right, look at our block protection. You can't win playing on the ground. The ground's like a hot stove. You got to get up off the ground fast. All right, and I don't let the defensive players use the knee to get off the ground. If you're on the ground, all right, you're up and off the ground, pushing off hands and feet. You're not going to get off the ground using the knee. All right, that's a loaf. That's too lazy. You aren't straining hard enough to get up off the ground and get to the ball if you're going to get off the ground, all right, using a knee. So we're off the ground, hands and feet, just like doing an up-down. Hands and feet pushing off the ground with the feet running, the head snapping up, going to the ball. All right, number 4 here, missed tackles. Most important defensive fundamental, tackling, all right? We've got poor leverage. We're over on the ball. We're not staying inside out on the ball. All right, body position. All right, we got our feet crossed over. All right, we're turned. We're high. All right, we got too wide a base, too narrow base, our body position. All right, we're not taking the extra step to contact. All right, we're leaving our feet behind. We're jumping off the diving board. All right, instead of taking that extra step to contact. All right, the people put your nose where it belongs, cross the bow, close the gate, run your feet, knock them back. All right, and then see what you hit. All right, when you tackle, see what you hit. Your head to head down. All right, you can't hit what you can't see. All right, see what you hit, head and eyes up. All right, so we look at, we tackle poorly. Why did we tackle poorly? All right, we try and evaluate that. All right, number 5 right here, poor pursuit angles. All right, just a minute, I'll talk with you about our elements of run defense. All right, why did we give up that long run? All right, well, some of those things above this, all right, and then our pursuit angles are wrong. All right, we're taking bad pursuit angles, our elements of run defense. All right, and then number 6 here, effort. We want to play with a fanatical effort. Hell, we all do. All right, fanatical effort, man. Strain, strain, strain. Play with a passion for the game. Now, you got to be passionate about the game to play with great effort. All right, and to the 212th degree. Hey, at 211 degrees, water's just hot. All right, it reaches that 212, man, that water gets fanatical. All right, it starts jumping, popping. All right, that water becomes fanatical, man. It starts boiling at that 212th degree. All right, and that's the same way we want to play defense, at that 212th degree. All right, we want to play fanatical. All right, we want to play hot. We want to be jumping. We want to be running. We want to play with emotion, all right, and play with a passion, 212th degree, all right, and play with great effort. But when we talk about our elements of run defense, all right, and this is in our over defense here, just playing a cover 3. And we talk about our elements of run defense with the ball, all right, being run here, outside run to our left. All right, well, we're playing sky support to our left. All right, with our strong safety, we're playing what we call club support with our Sam linebacker there to our right. They run a toss play here to our left. All right, what is our elements of run defense? All right, and it should be our passive pursuit angles as well. All right, well, number one, our strong safety is our primary force player. It's his job, all right, to set the edge on the defense, to cup the ball. He's a box player. All right, and then we should have two fill players. Our sixth technique end, all right, should be the next guy coming, all right, and our will linebacker. And there we call fill players. What's a fill player? They should put their nose right on the ball. That strong safety's job is to box the run, all right, send the ball back inside, all right, and then that end and that will linebacker, they should be the next two coming, and they're what we call fill players, nose on the ball. All right, and then we got three cutback players, that three technique, that nose, and that Mike linebacker. All right, they're what we call cutback players. All right, and they should be coming near hip to the ball. All right, so we got a guy cupping the ball, we got two guys fill players, nose on the ball, and then we got some inside-out pursuit that are cutback players. Stay near hip to the ball. Near hip to the ball. All right, and then our backside rush, all right, he is the collapse and chase guy. He is going to collapse that offensive tackle, and he is going to chase, all right, on the other side of the line of scrimmage. All right, and then our Sam linebacker, who is the support player away from the flow of the run, he's what we call a counterpoint player. His job is to counterpoint the ball, all right, when it goes away, all right, for counter, boot, reverse. All right, he's the last player in that box, okay, to ever cross, all right, over that football. And then we go to our secondary, and our left corner here, he's a play-action player first on run, the old toss pass play. So he's a play-action secondary force. If that ball gets outside that strong safety, he's our secondary force player, but he's a play-action, all right, spillage player first. And then we got our free safety here running the fence line, all right, to alley. And then that backside corner, he's the insurance cutback guy. He's the guy that at the 21-man rule, going to keep everything in front of him, never cross over that ball, take that angle to that pylon, all right, and keep it out of the end zone. Don't let it cut back against us. He's what we call our insurance cutback player. We take the same run here, all right, to the other side in our over defense. All right, now we've got our Sam linebacker, all right, as our primary force player, with our rush and our Mike linebacker as the fill players. All right, nose on the ball, guys. Sam linebacker, box it, cup the ball, all right, send it back inside. Rush, Mike, nose to the ball. All right, nose, tackle, will backer. There's our three cutback players. Near hip to the ball. Near hip to the ball. All right, never follow the same colored jersey. All right, and now we've got our end away is the collapse chase player with our strong safety, the counterpoint player. Counter, boot, reverse. Front side corner, secondary force. Play action, all right, the secondary force. All right, again, safety, fence line, the alley. All right, and then our backside corner, always our insurance cutback player. All right, and that's what we talked about as far as our elements of run defense, and every day we do a pursuit drill. All right, well, we work a toss right, we work a toss to our right or to our left, and we'll line up in over three, all right, or an over black. All right, and that's what we're looking for. All right, primary force, fill, cutback, cutback, cutback. All right, counterpoint, okay, secondary force, fence line to alley, insurance cutback. How many times do you say to a kid, you're loafing? That's a loaf. We've got a defensive loaf policy, all right, that we defined a loaf as this. Number one, not being in a proper stance. Loafing is not just not running hard to the ball. Everything in football starts with a proper stance. All right? So if you're not in a proper stance, if you're lazy getting yourself down into your stance, all right, or you're back here, all right, straight-legged, there ain't no power angles in that stance, all right, you're getting down there in that stance here, and if you're not in the right stance, that's a loaf. Because all bad plays start with a bad stance. All right, so number one, all right, is proper stance. Not in the right stance, they're too lazy to get their down to what way they're coached to do. All right, that's a loaf. All right, we're going to play in a good football position. We're going to play in a good stance. There's a reason why we put you in that stance. All right, so playing a proper stance. Number 2 is a change of speed. As you're watching the film, all right, and that ball's away, and I'm a backside defensive player, and as I read ball away, all right, and I'm coming here, all right, Johnny's going to make the play, Billy's going to make the play. Oh, they didn't make it, and now I change my speed. All right, that's a loaf. All right, I shouldn't see a change in speed in your pursuit to the ball. All right, it should be balls to the wall. All right, and snap the whistle. All right, to the echo of the whistle. All right, getting passed by a player at your position. If you're one of those 4-down defensive linemen, all right, that ball's run to our left, and I'm that left end, and I'm being passed up by that backside nose guard. That's a loaf. If you get passed up running the ball by somebody at your position, we call that a loaf. And it's the same thing with the linebacker position, the secondary position. No 5-step burst when the ball is thrown. We run a very high-tempo practice. All right? And our offense will run two in Scott, they'll run 2 offenses. Ask, man, we barely have time to get back, get a call, and get lined up, and they're up on the ball again. All right? I don't make them run all the way to the ball, but I better see a 5-yard burst. I better see a 5-yard burst. All right? Don't give me this crap, you're tired. All right? Show me a 5-yard burst. Okay? If not, we got problems, we got a loaf. Staying on the ground. All right? The ground is a hot stove. All right? The ground is a football player's worst enemy. All right? Get up off the ground, hands and feet. Hands and feet up off the ground, feet run to snap your head, all right, and get to the ball. All right? If you're on the ground, you can't play for us. All right? Get up off the ground. All right? Turning down a hit. All right? Turning down, we talk all the time about contact speed. What's contact speed? If you run a 4.5 40, by God, you better hit it 4.5. You can't win with those guys that run 4.5, all right, and hit it 5 flat. All right? There's no contact speed. They're turning down the hit. All right? I'm going to tell you what. You can win with those guys that run 5 flat, but play at 4.8. And you all know what I'm talking about. We've all had them. Hey, they play a hell of a lot faster than what they do with a clock. All right? But if you got guys that are 4.5, 4.6, but they play contact speed, hitting that 5 flat, 5.1, they're turning down the hit. Okay? Taking the path of least resistance, we talked about that, running around blocks. All right? Not straining. All right? Strain, strain, strain. Don't take the path of least resistance. And then once the tackle is secured, not attempting to get the ball out. CPR. All right? In everything we do, if that ball carrier is, we've got him secured, all right? There's better be guys coming in there, BCR. All right? CPR, club punching and ripping. All right? And we give out a diggers of the day. After every practice, I call it diggers of the day. All right? I'll look at the practice film, okay? And I'll see who's in practice and everything that we do, all right, who's trying to dig the ball out. Who's trying to get the ball out. All right, and I'll come in the next day, all right, and I'll have the list up there, who are the diggers of the day. All right, trying to dig the ball out. Dig it out. All right. So once that tackle is secured, all right, we should be coming in there, all right, CPR, club punch and ripping. And that's our defensive loaf policy. All right, and the kids know it, all right, and you got a first-team guy that's got 5 loaves, all right, guys back him up's got 2. It's real easy, all right, to make a change. All right, I'm going to play the guy that's giving me great effort. I'm not going to play the guy that's loafing on me. Just some thoughts about personnel. Win with players that care about the team. We already talked football, all right, is a team sport, and it's the greatest team sport. All right, there is no I in team. We all know that. All right, you win with players that care about the team. Those are the guys you want to go to battle with. Number 2, win with players who are consistent. Consistency is the truest measure of performance. I just had a talk with one of our defensive players the other day, and told him he's going to be a senior, all right, and he is the biggest underachiever in our football program. All right, one time he'll look like an All-American, and then 3 snaps, all right, recruiting mistake. All right, consistency. All right, be consistent. All right, look for those guys that are consistent, all right, as a player. Number 3, ability determines how well you can do it and only gives you a chance to be good. But attitude determines how well you actually do it. Ability is God-given and allows you to be good. Attitude is self-given and allows you to be great. All right? I want those guys playing that have that coach me coach attitude. All right? They're going to come to work every day, all right, with a great attitude. They bounce in their step. They're wide-eyed. They're bright-eyed. All right? And I don't have to tell them to sit up straight. They're sitting up straight, and they have that coach me coach attitude. Those are the guys I want to be around. Those are the guys that I want to be in that foxhole with, all right, and play football with. Number 4, hard workers win. No substitute for hard work. All right, and they work at the game both on and off the field. All right, they work at the game off the field as well, watching film. All right, you can't ever look at enough film. Get in there and study the film. Get in there and look at the film. And teach them how to look at the film. All right, just don't let them go in there and they're just watching the ball, following the ball. Teach them how to look at film. Read their keys. It's a chair read drill. All right, see, with the linebackers, I'll put that pointer right on their key. All right, and I'll pause, and they're taking their first step, and I'll pause, and they're telling me what they see. Trap, trap. I'm making them communicate to me, all right, what that guard's doing. Reach, reach, down, down, pull, pull, trap, trap. All right, they're reading their keys, and they're communicating the intent of their keys to me. All right, and now they go in there to watch film, all right. They have a purpose for watching film, and they know how to do it to make themselves better. Number 5, injured players cannot help you win. Players must be durable. You can't make the club sitting in the tub. No practice, no play. Now you got those guys, oh, coach, my hamstring's a little sore here today. I should be back tomorrow. Coach is still a little bit sore. I'll be back on Wednesday. All of a sudden Wednesday, man, I'm ready to go, and he's out there running around because it's game time on Friday. All right. We all had them. All right, we got a pile. Tuesday and Wednesday are our big work days. All right, you may be out Monday, but you got to work those 2 big work days, or you don't play. All right, you can't make the club sitting in the tub. All right, you got to be durable. You got to get out there back on the grass. All right, ready to perform. All right, on Saturday. All right, and you only do that by practicing. And number 6, make personnel decisions that give you the best opportunity to play good defense. Guys, it's a game of speed nowadays. All right, in our conference, all right, we very seldom, well, we see a little bit of 2-back run, but we're seeing a lot of the 1-back and spreading us out, okay, and putting linebackers out there in space, playing with 10 personnel, 1 back, no tight ends, and 4 wide receivers. All right, and they're spreading us out. All right, it's basketball on grass. All right, and it's a game of speed. All right, and the ability to play in space. All right, so we're giving up some size with our linebackers, all right, and we're looking for those guys that are space players, all right, guys that have the ability to play in space. Speed, speed, speed on defense, all right, and we're going to pressure 40 to 45% of the time. We're going to be aggressive, all right. So I want those linebackers, those safeties, all right, that can come on those dogs, come on those blitzes, be slippery, all right, have some avoidability, all right. So it's now a game of speed. With how you're getting spread out by these offenses nowadays.
We hope that you will benefit from purchasing this DVD, and please tell your friends about it. We hope to see you at another clinic in the future.